Hello, hello, minasan. How you doing? This is Yakidachi here, your boomer VTuber with a nose for nostalgia, a nose for the new, saying hello. So I'm a little late today. Oh my god, I had to sneak in a couple of slices of pizza before I would start the stream. Uh, and Man, it's a kind of a packed day, but that's okay. That's okay. Sundays can be like that. Had a nice out trip with some of my clients and that sort of thing. So it went long, but that's all right. Thanks for tuning in and choosing this stream. For as always, forever in your debt. For doing so, you could be doing anything else, but you're sitting here watching tonight a documentary with me. So thank you very much. The last one was well received with the talking about esports with the teams from South Korea, and that was pretty interesting, right? So that BlizzCon, and if you want to watch that one, it's still on up online. Um, like I said, last night's stream, uh, I was suspended for a week because of some mishap with copyright. I do apologize for that. I'll be smarter going in. So that's why tonight I'm not showing the documentary behind me on the screen somewhere. No, no, no. That would get me killed. But I will be watching along on another device. And what I'll do is I'll start the clock timer, as you can see below me, to the lower right of your screen. And if you come in late or you want to just pause, you can find out which part of the movie you stopped at, because I'll start the timer in the same time that I start the movie, right? So you can sync up and you don't have to worry a thing. And you can hear me chat along with my observations at moments in the course of the dialogue. I'll be talking over the video in parts, hopefully not too obstructionist or getting in the way of. Don't get in the way of my immersion, man. Okay. No immersion busting, all right? Yeah, so no immersion busting for sure. And what else I was gonna say? Oh, I put up a video on my. I actually put up two videos last night. One was a video and one was a short. So the short of the public disco I mentioned I went to last night. It's almost closing in on 1,000 views already. Thank you so much for that. At in less than 24 hours, it's already garnered almost 1,000. So thank you. That's great. And keep it up, folks. Enjoy the good vibes of people just enjoying a summer's day, dancing underneath the blue sky. Um, and underneath the bridge deck too. That's where Granville Island is. For those of you who don't know the left coast cities, urban geography. Yes. Um, and also posted a video of me actually leaving said island and biking towards Science Worlds. For those of you who know, that's sort of from Granville all the way to Main Street, heading east on the seawall. So you get to see Falls Creek and all its glory. Well, not all of its glory, because I don't do the other side. I hope to do a video of more bike rides, just because not only do I touch grass, I touch bike. So there you go. That's right. I'm a cyclist, even though I don't look it. I don't have. I'm not head to toe in spandex. Okay. I don't look like the Tour de France champion. All right. That's all I can say. I'm usually biking around up until it got really warm last week. I was biking around in my baby metal hoodie. Yeah. Yeah, I'm supposed I know I'm supposed to be a cozy VTuber and stuff like that, but there is that I have an edge. I do have an edge that shows up every once in a while, especially when it comes to metal, especially baby metal and Hagane and Nemophila and X Japan, and Maximum the Hormone, and Hard Rock like Bandmade. Mm-hmm. It shows up. So I have quite the list. Trying to figure out how to incorporate that into my streams without getting killed by copyright. So it'll probably just be karaoke for now. Also, I hope to draw up a contest next week where I will donate uh, $50 to a charity when someone correctly answers a skill testing question. I'll be posting something. I'll post it in my community notes, and then you can follow along, and I'll be promoting it through my streams anyway. And then the $50 will go to the winner, the first one to post the answer. I will somehow wire the money, email the money. I don't know how to do it these days. You're talking to a boomer. I don't know. Can I mail you a check? What's your mailing address? What's your postal or zip code so I can mail this out to you? Shunny, what's your name, Shunny? I can write this check out for you. Would it be easier for me to fax you a check? And will the bank still take a fax check? I'm not aware of this newfangled technology you speak of. Uh, Tonight you might hear the crinkle of my drink cup. Tonight's drink cup is brought to you by Blackberry Slushy. Mmm, which tastes so good right now because I'm basically melting inside my room. The heat's finally come. My room is finally heated up. It's been taking 6 months since the new year to heat up, but it's finally. All right. So I've talked about the contest, talked about upcoming streams. So let's get going with this movie. I did put a link in the post, so if you want to follow along, you can just click on the link in the post and it'll take you right there, right? So it's a movie about Half-Life 2, um, the game, of course, and it's Valve had a significant anniversary with it. Let me just pull it up here. Hold on a second here. Okay, old man, bring this up, dude. What is with this thing? OMG. Okay, posts. There we go. Yeah, so 20th anniversary documentary from 6 months ago. So, yeah, the turn of the year. So I don't know whether it's I haven't really watched this in depth yet, but I don't know if it's 2020, 2004 or 2005 release of the game in the Wayback File. Um, Interesting comments as well as one of the key founders of the game's untimely passing. So that's sad. Yeah, yeah. So respects to him, and yeah, let's get into this, shall we? So let me just get myself ready here to hit the timer. Okay, and I'll just sort of give you the setup once it goes. Okay, so in 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, before I forget, 3, 2, 1. It's a 2-hour movie. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're looking at a. Oh, there we go. Oh, so this guy likes to trespass on abandoned buildings. He likes to climb up on the roof. So he would basically break into abandoned warehouses and stations and stuff. Um, did I ever do that? Maybe. So he did his first photo shoot of Austerlitz Station. It was under construction, but there were no security and no fences, so he could walk in and see all the disrepair it was in. So before gentrification. So he's talking to Victor Antonov, the artist of the game, where he's getting inspiration from. Interesting. This is brought to you by Valve. You can hear the gameplay. Everything's in slow motion. The shots, the trains going through industrial areas, a broken down dome of an old building, and of course, shooting. Murky, dark labs. To celebrate the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2, we interviewed most of the original team, but the story of Half-Life 2's development is more complex than the first game. Several internal and external factors contribute to a long and often arduous development cycle. Much of the story has never been told until now. Ooh, there we go. Okay, Chapter 1, Raising the Bar. That's the title screen there. So two guys with not a lot of game experience, and the game became successful. More than expected. So how do you follow that up? Yeah, how do you follow it up and not get a not count on beginner's luck? So now the bar has been raised, and so now they have to level up. hmm 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 So now they got some clout, and they want to hire the best experts. Yeah. So Valve was around 10 people at that time. Sorry, brushed the mic. Old team photo. Everyone was looking very 90s there. And now they're talking to a female game developer, and she got an internship at 17. Wow. hmm So they bought themselves a lot of time, and so they wanted to work on story and game design. So they recap Half-Life 1. So now there's resource-starved civilizations going to try and take on Earth to get all the free air and water they can get. Hmm. Talking about the origins of the alien species. So it reminds me of writing music, being very experimental. They designed four cities at first: Prague, Jerusalem, Chicago, L.A., an Earth base, an underwater base, icebreakers. Even had a plane crash into a high rise. Of course, that was before 9/11, so they took it out after. So it got too big. Call it sophomore anxiety, trying to, yeah. So they're trying to figure out how to get that half life look and feel. So scientist survivors from Black Mesa, the culminating event, that they already know each other. So instead of a small committed group at first game, now they have to hire a bigger team. Now they're showing some of the character design art in the slideshow. It's pretty cool. So they're talking to one of the concept designers for the characters. So Gordon was a little too black, so they wanted him to activate the orange tint. Pardon me. Oh wow, they're just showing all the the abandoned creatures sketchbook. Oh my god, this is cool. Yeah, they're talking about how they liked the ambiguity of whether they were synthetic or natural evolution. Yeah. So one of the levels had looting TVs. Free TV, he's screaming. NPCs. Oh wow, check out the whiteboards. Oh my lord. I like the explosion of trying to define a universe on the whiteboard. That's cool. Wow. They thought it was too dark and dystopian for players to but still maintain the feeling of a security state. Yeah, there we go. Hmm. They want an Orwellian type of society. Yeah. Want to create a generic Central European city. Talking to one of the map designers. So they went on a lot of field trips to do research. They wanted a grounding in reality with the proportions and stuff. Textures are moving from being painted to photographic. Yeah, texture mapping. That was one of my favorite things in to do in 3D modeling. I used to do 3D modeling back in the day. So talking about like a guy uh, on a failed project, and then got absorbed into Half Life. Oh wow. Two guys are just being and they realize they both have worked on failed projects at different times. The same project. They went on an icebreaker to get reference. They realized this was how tight the spice was. Yeah, it was too tight for combat. They were looking at creating a tech list of features they wanted to put into the game, and it took them 6 years. So it was a tight collaboration between artists and engineers. That's cool. Someone realized the math was wrong. The math was wrong. That took about 2.5 years to fix. So two comp sci guys from University of Florida. They both were they were in their 17. Wow. They wanted an immersive film like cinematic feel and having characters that you cared about. Therefore, react and emote. So they wanted a responsive environment with physics. It turned into a 6 year slog. Mm. Talk about a major league. No money left. Are we allowed to cry in this documentary? That's what I want to. Oh no, I feel like chapter two is coming up. Yeah, it's chapter two. Performance. It doesn't look. Oh God, doesn't look good right now. Talking about shipping to Half Life One and how the world loved it. He said all the animations are terrible. So how do we make Life Cycle 2 better? According to Gabe, the founder. I had to work a lot on the animation system. Oh, Robert Culp. I didn't know Robert Culp was a voice actor. Okay, that's interesting. They wanted to bring that emotional connection with the interaction. If you can make character act realistically, it'll help the player make an emotional connection. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's about immersion. And industry pros from other places would tell them not to bother. So they found a paper. He found out a thing about how clinical scripture is the facial expression. Cool. I gotta look that up. So he used one of the engineers to be a model for the facial expression. Oh, cool. There's his face on the character. Nice. So Scott is now the COO and spent 9 months research on eyeballs. Wow. So now the eyes are engaging the viewer. That's cool. And they found an accountant who turned out to have perfect face for the scientist. Casting. That's funny. They casted all these regular folks. That's so cool. Wow. They're all connections of them as friends and or people they see every day on the street. That's crazy. That's funny. So they were trying to do different ages and different nationalities. Nice. So Kleiner's lab was a place where they could had all the characters could interact, and that'd be the proving ground. They're talking about all the movements dynamically in a scene and how to get it all to work together. talking about scenes with multiple characters. Everyone's acting in their scene. Just a little peck on the cheek on her for her dad is enough to tell volumes. Yeah, agreed. They're talking about Jake, who's sounds like he's passed on, unfortunately. But he was he was a problem. He was a problem solver for animation. Yeah, so talking to the guy who's doing shading and refraction, he basically roped every computer and made doing every shading. And I know that feeling because I've had to actually bog down computers with rendering jobs. Oh my god! So talking to Mike Shapiro, the voice actor Shapiro. So he also does G-Man and Barney. So he seems to be acting in different timelines at the same time. So Merle Dandridge was a voice actress for Alex and brings some warmth and humor into her delivery. Hal Robbins is also a voice actor. And he's on Twitch and Zoom in the Church of the Subgenius. Oh my God. Oh, he's worked with DC Comics. He's also a painter. And he's Dr. Kleiner. Takes pride in enunciation. So he was always wanted to be a one take wonder. Why do you have to wear all these ridiculous ties? That's his line. Nice. Okay, chapter 3, we're going into physics. Oh boy. So they wanted the world to be more reactive. So, like, for example, what if you threw a grenade at a bunch of boxes? So they're trying to guess weights in this in the environment, try and render that and how to debug that. Oh my goodness. He found a list of online of masses and objects. So they were guessing whether it was like the mass of a racehorse or a mass of a spray can. Oh boy. Oh, so they're training how to use levers and balance using a teeter totter, so they can integrate that into the game for bigger objects. They're talking about the gravity gun. They've even changed the story sequence to integrate the gravity gun. So it was all physics driven in Ravenholm, and there's no ammo, so you had to. So it's like improvised. Yeah. So make it a whole sort of physics horror playhouse called Puzzlets. So every 50 to 60 seconds, just solving some quick problems. Hmm. So creating a matrix chart of all the games of and having something meaningful in every meaningful interactions. So they would find empty cells and design a thing to. Now they're talking about the next chapter, chapter 4, road chips. So Now getting away from pre-production, getting it locked in and ready to ship. Can't figure out how to do jet skis on in first person point of view. They instead went to an airboat. Oh, so doing trick moves like skateboarding ways, huh? In the canals. So it's almost like three different players, right? So the people just want to just do tricks, other people just want to smash through things, and other people just want to get out and explore, right? So they all have to be satisfied. You can jump over and smash things. They realized they needed a weapon for the. So it kind of lures you into chasing down the helicopter and shooting at it. So it had a code error where it just spat out a bunch of bombs aimed at you, but it's a yeah, just keep that. It's trickier to design a level with the player feels like they can actually have some agency and affect the environment in order to create a win, as opposed to just saying, "Okay, you just had this, you died X amount of times, so we're just gonna have the boss fall on its sword, and then you can go on." So yeah, I get that. Yeah, so they talk about how the buggy is going and how it's like the difference between perceived experience versus actual experience. So they're just trying to figure out how to figure out the bumps, aka displacement. Yeah. So people can get out and drive or walk, get out and walk. So it's like you have this trade-offs of speed and distance. So if you explore these little towns, you might be able to get some health packs or something, right? AKA what we now call these days side quests. So you're talking about the AI programming, and they can just kill you in a nanosecond, but it's more challenging to make it entertaining and yeah. Yeah, so developing a sense of mastery over your environment is part of the fun. So yeah, so you're just learning by playing with the environment and without like explicit instructions. Hmm. So they're going to talk about the bridge with the train on it. They're talking about Deception Pass in Washington State. So taking away the highway and putting in a train made it a game of chicken. So the timing issue is kind of important because the old joke is like if you race a train and you tie, you still lose. Oof! Just getting vertigo looking at this scene. Wow. So they just created edge friction so that every time they come to the edge of something that they would not fall off easily. So that's a mathematical thing. Oh, that was brilliant. And now talking about Odessa Gubbage and Cubbage and training rocket launcher. So talking about gunships now. So they're trying to duck in and out behind the gunship. They're talking about playtesting and iterations from after that, and taking notes. And they talk about all the pain points. And you go and you fix that over and over again. So the game, so game testing was kind of discouraged because they didn't want to think the game sucked. They're talking to the COO again. So now we're going to the office side, the back office, as in, you know, let's get back get better deals for our IP with royalties and stuff. So they're trying to figure out how to get into expansion packs and extend revenue. And this is when I think they started getting to the fiscal crunch. Chapter 5, the lawsuit. There you go. Where there's a hit, there's a writ. So now they're talking to the attorney, Carl Quackenbush. So Vivendi had a disagreement with the. So they were having issues about cyber cafes and having licensing through that. So Vivendi decided to go World War III, according to the CO. The disputes on Discovery. They changed law firms from Vivendi because Valve keeps winning. Big stack of counterclaims, all the way from canceling 2001 agreement and to obtaining all ownership of the IP, keeping them from doing Steam, and yeah, and try and push Valve out of business and just bankrupt everybody personally and decide to get hand out process server documents. It's not a legal strategy; it's just a way to intimidate the defendants, and so they try and take money off of them personally. Vivendi is a multinational conglomerate, feeling very David versus Goliath. They knew how much money was. They know how much money that Half-Life was making, so they were just looking to crank up the legal costs. I'm just digging the big, huge CRT monitors on the desks. I remember that time. Big 17-inch monitors. He's wondering whether he should put his house in one, and if you want to keep going. Uh, So they were both the company and the top people were going bankrupt. Wow, that's crappy. He's talking about how he just stayed cool during a shark attack recently. So it was like his personality, not too agitated around this, but also means that taking on way too much risk. Yeah, risk indifference. That's a great way of putting it. As the team worked, most had no idea how short on cash the studio really was. Legal fight continued right until the launch. Chapter 6, malcompliance. What does that mean? Oof. So, so, so the scripting of cop jargon, that would sound terse. That's where anti-citizen one comes up. Anti-citizen one breach. You wanted to have the mask like tinny sound. So the faces were all covered up by the Metro cops. So the Metro police and the Combine soldiers share a lot of AI. So there's always a limited amount of people who can actually shoot at you. Hmm. Ooh. So they just integrated AI to make sure that the NPCs and other elements would integrate themselves in the game. Okay. Oof. So they're talking about building bridges out of scrap, and you have to train it. So stay on the rocks because the ant lions will come out like crazy. Oh, just give the NPC's name at as they die, so then you fill in the blanks in your mind as a player. Wow, that's cool tactic. Wow. So give it a feel like a D-Day beach landing but not doing the beach thing, but storming up. So they're talking about how they wanted to integrate the early art prototypes of Nova, and they would do test scenes. Mm. So now they set the antlions out against the Combine soldiers. So showing the Strider origins as a moving guard tower. Yeah, you can't see them at first because their body's way up above you. Yeah, cool. They're talking about E3 2002 demo. Yeah, they have a problem with us not seeing the forest for the trees. They don't realize how much embarrassment riches they have assembled. Talking about characters and physics and puzzles. So which one what should you showcase? So physics based, it was just seemed the winner there. So people were gasping, could not believe what they're seeing on the screen in terms of the reality of the physics. Yeah, I can see that. For 2000, sure. That's nuts. Yeah, they just said, "How can you run this on a 486?" They like that. They like the emptying out vending machine. The demo was just a huge line at E3. Miyamoto, Will Wright. We can ship this game now. Until it leaked. The Hack, Chapter 7. Oh, frick. Uh, so Kid Ventura already hacked away in. So now they're trying to figure out how the leak happened, and now everybody inside is like now they have to shut down their computers and coming in. They felt punched in the gut. A build of Half-Life 2 was leaked in September '03 for many fans because could not resist temptation. They felt devastated, the team, of course. Yeah, he was pretty angry. The office was very quiet and very eerie. They didn't know whether they could find jobs. And at the same time, they were running lawsuits. It was a super dark time. Law, law, law enforcement, and asked the community for help. So the crowdsourced investigation. So the guy got arrested. Also, the studio worked in Half-Life 2. A small incubator was involved with developing a piece of software that have a large impact on the future in video game distribution. No kidding. Chapter 8, building pressure. Get it? Guess they're building up pressure like steam, maybe. Ha ha. Team Fortress Class and Counter Strike, fundamentally the thing, was able to ship content directly to customers. Yeah. They were trying to convince people they could develop to distribute software over the internet. So weird. What a strange concept. But retailers aren't wouldn't ever allow that happen is what their argument was. People want physical copies. Why don't we just download whole games like this instead of just marketing bits? Yeah. So even if you bought it out of the box at a retailer, still need Steam to run it as well. So he's started noodling on his own time on multiplayer. So Gabe walked by his desk. He said, "What's that?" It's Half-Life multiplayer mode. Yeah, so they wanted to do it themselves because they're waiting for mods to either work on that anyway. Chapter 9. End of the line. Okay, now they're back at the train station. So it's the inspiration for train station of City 17. The reason why you wanted to always build the start of the game. Like, you can understand the game at that point, and everyone's firing on all cylinders. Yeah, I get it. So set your expectations for the world. Yeah. Sort of setting how dystopic everything was. Yeah. Sort of introduced it in a mundane way. So little clues of moving out and wrecking stuff shows you about how you can interact with that world as well. So how to train people to pick up and throw things and stuff. Ah, so when a cop threw a Cove can at you, tell him to pick it up, then that's the way to respond. It's teaching you how to use those objects. Oh, cool. And also set the tone of the society. Yeah. The raid on the apartments was a sort of a is the one way to corral the player, right? So they have no chance, no choice but to follow them. Hmm, hmm. So just trying to create a sense of what's going on in the environment by having a consistent environmental look. Reference gathering on those field trips, yeah, and Bulgaria and Paris. So it also gives opportunities for hiding people in there. They're talking about all these different problems that they set up in different environments. So I like blowing up barrels, yeah. So this is where they're manipulating the physics so it makes it look more cinematic. Nice. Especially have a after a big strider fight. So they had a bit of a good cooking session. They cooked a lot. They cooked well. All the last moment. Yes. So even though they're still racing to release, they're still bleeding money from the lawsuit. So they're trying to keep Valve going with another type of funding. And a publishing deal fell through. So they so Vivendi just realized that they're trying to make them turn their lights out, but they just keep going. So you dumped a whole bunch of stuff in Korean, so it's hard to discover. So they did find a needle in the haystack. And Vivendi was caught in Korean by the Korean intern for Valve that they had destroyed Valve documents. Yeah, and of course they denied it. And he majored in Korean language studies. It's one of the happiest moments of the lawyer. Should we settle this point? The difference between a pig and a hawk. Half-Life 2 was released in November 16, 2004. It won 39 Game of the Year awards and often listed as yeah. Oh, you have to be honest enough, but still be passionate enough to be individual contributors. Spending years working on those features. 6, 7 days a week, 10, 14 hours a day for an 18-day month stretch. Still had humor and seriousness in the right measurements. Yeah, the whole company was aligned. As before. So yeah, it was before the specialization of game design as well. People could wear many different hats. Wow. Epilogue, the episodes is the title card. We're final stretch, folks. Thanks for watching along with me today. You can't do 6 year long bet the whole company bets over and over again. So doing episodic content. So they're doing episodic, so they're doing basically a relay between all these different, all now alternating teams, creating stuff on the with the existing assets and trying to just build upon it. Striders remind him of AT-ATs in Star Wars. No, I thought that too. So the tension between all these players designed that way. So they're designed to pay off, of course. Yes, that's what the that's what good game design is, a decent payoff, right? Oh God. Wow. So what's the right amount of episode? Sorry, making a sideways trade-off, yeah. Hmm. They're showing slides of some concept art of for Half-Life 3, which never got made. So creating an ice gun or Dr. Freeze with a freeze ray, pretty much. Could be used as a bridging device. A blob enemy. Hmm. payable levels in no particular order. They're about 18 months away, 2 more years. Then they moved to Left for Dead. So they're thinking maybe they've pardon the pun, played out enough of Half-Life. So that if the creative team is not creating anything new, big, then maybe they're out of gas. Are we allowed to cry in this documentary? So yeah, so they thought they were done with episode 3. Sometimes you just talk yourself out of something, right? And I think that's what happened to this team. So they really have 300 employees. Saying that the episodes really helped Dota to come into fruition. So talking about Half-Life and VR as well. Hmm. Yeah, so new technologies, new innovations, new games. Yeah, something was released this weekend. What's that? Yes, the Switch 2. There we go. Oh, Phil 6 was now. There we go. That was okay, and that was the credits, and then that's it. All right, and that's the end of the movie, end of the documentary. A very, very industry heavy look at game development. I enjoyed that. I was I've I've been privileged to come see a lot of game development in my time. So, uh, and also I was a 3D animator at one point. Oh, sorry, I should stop the clock. Hold on a second here. Let me stop the clock. Pause. Yeah, yeah, I was a 3D modeler at one point and did some animations. So I know the feeling of rendering, literally rendering new worlds and characters and that sort of thing, and texture mapping and shaders and all that fun stuff. Yeah, ray tracing, ooh, inverse kinematics. I remember it all, sort of. Yeah, that was great. Just a very deep dive into a gaming company, and yeah, warts and all. That was pretty cool. Uh, I'm glad it's at the also that you guys can watch along for free. Again, that's one of the things I'm trying to do is to build up a catalog of free movies that we can all watch and enjoy. You don't need a subscription. You don't need this, that, and the other. You just need YouTube. That's it. Done. So thank you for coming along with that. So the next week coming up, I hope to do some more karaoke finally. Trying to think of a good theme this week on that. Also, I want to do a game, but the game may not be live. It might be just something that I post, and then you keeners out there, you chat can play and see who gets the first one right to earn themselves 50 whole bucks, and then I can also donate 50 bucks to a charity of my choice. Yes, not all the time, but I just thought, I'm trying to get the positive karma coming our way that way. And yeah, some more games. We'll be working on Stable. I'll still be working on Clair Obscure. Oh my goodness. Also, Drawing Stream, maybe if I can get my OBS to work nicely with my drawing tablet, my iPad, so I can draw on it and do a series, not a semi-regular series on teaching you guys how to draw. I know how to draw. Like this is a self-portrait you're looking at right now. Well, it's a portrait of some kind anyway. But yeah, I'll teach you guys how to draw. It's pretty elemental, and I'll break it down in very, very, very easy steps that will not insult your intelligence, but hopefully activate a few of your few more IQ points in between your ears, if you know what I mean. All right. The most beautiful thing I've seen today. We're getting to that time already, folks. The most beautiful thing I've seen today. Well, we had we had the privilege today of being in an ancient Ming Dynasty style Chinese garden and hearing a stringed instrument plucked so exquisitely by this teenager, the 16-year-old guy. Oh my God. I'll be posting that a little later once I figure out a good spot to edit it, but it'll come up this week, trust me. And it was so good on this nice sunny day here in Left Coast City that oh, it'd be hard to top. I think that'd be the topmost thing that happened today. Yeah, by far. Yeah. Um. So on that note, uh, that's what we're going to be doing this week, and I'm happy to be back streaming. Been uh, it's been a break, but I needed some. I took the opportunity to reflect, think about what are my needs versus my wants, and I don't want to get all mushy on you, but it was really helped me reflect. So anyway, silver linings, right? Um, so this is Yaki Dachi saying, if you look hard enough, you'll find something beautiful every day, and just just keep chasing your dreams and hang in there. So this is Yaki Dachi saying, peace out, and I miss you guys already. Take care of yourself. Good night. Goodbye.